G'day, g'day. Welcome back to the Shit Dad podcast, where we hear fatherhood experiences through the eyes of average Aussie blokes. We hope you enjoyed that fresh little take on our intro music, because we've got a special guest today. So I'm Cam, husband of 4 years, father to a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and I'm starting to wonder if I'll ever get a decent sleep again.
I'm Nick, father of 2 boys and a girl. I've been married for 6 years, and when it comes to kids' dinners and kitchen blow-ups, I'm Gordon friggin' Ramsay.
Now, last episode we chatted to Hamish. We got deep into the identity of the modern male and how to travel overseas with young kids. We even touched on the decision to get the snip. So if you haven't heard that one, go back and take a listen. It was really, really good. And don't forget, if you're enjoying the shit daddery, press follow where you listen to your podcast. Keep that steam train full of Disney sing-alongs rolling. We're always open to feedback, suggestions and shit dad stories. Send them through, all your dad jokes, to shitdadpod@gmail.com or Instagram message us at shitdadpod.
And don't forget that we've teamed up with Smashing Fibers Apparel as our major sponsor, so use Ship Shit Free at checkout for free shipping on anything you pay for. Best shit dad story or dad joke every week also gets a gift voucher for those awesome legends.
Nice. All right, so you got a dad stuff quote this week, Nick?
Oh, yes. So I'll just put it out there straight away that picky eaters are still picky eaters on holiday. The food's just way more expensive.
Good advice on the holiday theme still. Now, this episode is called Fitstoppa Poppa, and we're very excited today to be talking to Mark Vayau, father of 3 and owner of a few Fitstop gyms here in Queensland. So welcome, Mark.
Good evening, gents. Thank you for having me.
No worries. Tell us a bit about yourself, mate.
Well, where do we start? As you said, I'm a proud father of 3. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Jane, and our 3 kids are 11-year-old Eva. We've got a 4-year-old Serafina and a 2-year-old Solomon, who looks like he's got long hair, so everyone always mistakes him for a girl. But
No, he does. He looks like Maui off Moana.
he legit is Bam Bam, like everywhere he goes. But yeah, we obviously are very fortunate to have 2 Fitstops, Fitstop North Lakes and Fitstop Redcliffe. Group training facility. We personalise in group fitness and just helping people become better and healthier and happier. I started my journey in the land of the long white cloud, which is also dubbed New Zealand. Came over here as a young kid, chasing a dream to play a little bit of rugby league. Fortunate to play a few games here and there and everywhere. And then beyond that, I wanted to help people, find the best person and become the best person that they can, which has been awesome. I've been able to do that. I guess I've been able to, along with Jane, bring my heritage as well as a young Samoan. So over the years, developed many tools to try and be a good father, good husband, and it's always work in progress. So I'm happy to share some of my stories.
And dad jokes.
Well, a couple of dad jokes. See how you go. But yeah, happy to be here. Exciting times.
Yeah, no, thanks for joining us. Before we get stuck in, Nick, with beer of the week, what are you cracking?
I got a Bolter Easy Hazy Bolter with enjoyment. It's mid-strength. Why use a stick of dynamite when a party popper will do the trick? I don't know if that means it's like light, a bit weak, easy, a bit weak, but we'll give it a pop anyway.
Give it a pop. Give it a whirl.
The Frenth is just flowing out of it.
Just some easy Frenth.
Oh, yeah. Tastes like guilt. And it also tastes a bit like shame with my personal trainer sitting across from me.
No judgment, remember?
Overall, fruity,
No judgment.
good fruity chibble about it. I like it.
For the listeners, the eyes were rolling back as he took that first
Never had one better.
Nothing better than a good opening.
I'm going back for a second. Oh, yes. Mark knows.
All right, time for some bad dad advice.
Is it ever? Now, I've got 3 kids, as you know. 2 of them are pretty high maintenance, or just high energy, we'll call them. And my high energy boy, loves bringing home treasures, we'll call that. It's basically anything he picks up anywhere he ever goes. So I've got a problem that we leave seed pods, leaves, grass, flowers, just everything short of dog shit through. Like it ends up through the house, on the couches, and on as well as on the floor of the car with all the sand from daycare. So what can I do about that?
Have you thought about giving him a treasure box?
Ooh, no, I have not.
You could theme it something to do with pirates.
Does it have to be like a box, or can it just be something cheap, like a shoe box?
Could be like a sock.
Oh, treasure sock. We talking does it turn into the Adam Sandler thing from American Pie when he's a bit older? I hope not.
Jeez.
That's gnarly. I was thinking of just blending whatever he bought and left around, blending it into his afternoon fruit smoothie.
There you go. Yeah.
That's what you get. If that was bitter, that was the seed pod you left on the couch.
How about the sand? The sand gets everywhere. Once it's in the car, you can't get it out.
Nah, I don't care how powerful your vacuum cleaner is. It's not coming out.
Whenever you take a shoe off, you just know there it comes.
That's another one. That's some more bad advice we need. Like anyone who has kids at daycare or who goes anywhere, any park with a sand pit, you could brush them off as much as you want. You can have a dustpan and brush sitting in your car to brush them off. You will still get a beach in your car or at home all through the house.
That's right. You almost need like a bucket to dunk them in the car.
Oh, yeah? So they get wet.
We have a hose.
Yeah? Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Hose?
And generally speaking, we try and undress them.
Yeah.
Shake everything out at daycare. Then in the car they go, and most of the sand isn't transported from there to there. And then worst case scenario, I'm running through the house with both kids on my shoulders straight to the shower.
That's sick. Listen, you are like my grade 9 English teacher. You're an ideas man. That's one.
It's so I don't get in trouble.
Yeah. You're doing it to cover yourself.
Yeah, I love that.
Absolutely.
Done.
Now I've got one. I live on a bit of a busy road, and whenever I open the garage, my 1.5-year-old just bolts. He tries to run out, not necessarily onto the road, but at least to the end of the driveway. So that's always something I'm a bit scared of. So how do I get him to stop bolting out of the garage?
Leash. Like Adam in the pub.
Frisbee.
Just distract him like a dog. Yeah, throw something. Go get this.
Go there, or just throw a frisbee straight at him. Or not.
No. Tie him to the garage door. So when it goes up, he's stuck. Like he can only go like to the boundary of the door.
Yes. Yeah.
But when it goes down, you have to quickly untie it so he doesn't get crushed by the garage.
Yep. That's bad advice. Yeah. Excellent. Sweet. All right, let's get to the discussion for the week with Mark. So, really excited about this one. Got a couple of interesting things to kind of chat about with you. So, diving straight in, wanted to, first and foremost, the main kind of theme we were speaking about was kind of your philosophy and approach to fatherhood. And you mentioned, you grew up in Aotearoa, which is where my mum's from as well, which is quite cool. And obviously Samoan background. So we wanted you to tell us a bit about this kind of village community approach to raising kids and, your background and how you've grown up.
Yeah, good question. Great topic. Both of my parents grew up in Samoa, so obviously they migrated for a better life, so to speak, into New Zealand, and myself and my brother were born in New Zealand. But a lot of the values and the beliefs and the way that they grew up transformed over into New Zealand. So I guess there was a lot of village mentality. An auntie, you've got about five to 15 aunties. You've got 20 uncles. Even though they're not blood relative, there was always this feel of connection.
Yep.
I guess is probably the way. We grew up in the church, and there was always things happening. And so I guess growing up, you quickly sort of adapted, and you had this feeling of belonging. Now, for a long time, in my young childhood, I grew up and there was a little bit of domestic violence as well in my household, which was always, really tough as a 5, 7, 9-year-old kid to see happen. But going fast forward a couple of years, I was in a position where I'm in a relationship and wanted to be a father. So I always think back, okay, what did I have? I had a great community, had plenty of aunties, plenty of uncles, plenty of cousins. But what I was missing was that father figure in my life. So, when Jane and I decided to have a family, it was like, okay, cool. What can we draw from? From my belief system, I love being surrounded by community, by having major connection. Now, me personally, I had a missing component in my life. Like my father wasn't really there to show me, how to shave, what to do, clean the gardens, do all this. But what I did have, I had an abundance of love, and I had abundance of, family connection in the community. So I guess from a parenting point of view now, I try and do my best to plug that gap, that missing gap in my life. And I guess it's surrounding myself with, people like yourselves who are willing to share and open up, what can we do to be better fathers and role models for our children. So I'm always excited to talk about that, because the highs of being in a community, there's 1,000 people always willing to help, but on a personal level, it's always that development to try. Okay, I didn't have that, so what's missing? Because no one's perfect, but we definitely try and use the tools that I had, that we all have, to try and be better fathers.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and so thinking about how that experience shaped how you want to be as a dad. What were the elements that you got? You did want to take from that community, or some of those other, maybe uncle, or you didn't have a father figure, but were there other men around that you were able to take some kind of advice from? Yeah,
it's a tricky one, because I had plenty of aunties and uncles, and the father figures. Well, the father figures in around that time were all church, and it was all like in our communities, which was great. But I guess for me, the strong figure in my life was my mother. So she kind of wore both hats. For my brother and I, she was the provider, she was the carer, she was the one that gave me a few
walloping.
Gave me a few uppercuts and things like that as well. But I think what I took out of that was that connection.
Yep.
That connection and that feel that you wanted to belong to something that was more communal, more village-like as well.
And was that easy or difficult to do when you came to Australia or came to Queensland?
Yeah, it was tough. I left New Zealand as an 18-year-old, just finished school, and came over here to pursue a career in rugby league. Yeah. So it was really hard, who do I connect with? Who do I lean on for this and that? So for many years it was really hard, and I guess looking back, there was a lot of development and trying to find who I was. As an 18-year-old, I was always at the pub.
Yeah.
So with your ambitions to be a rugby player, did you find that male figure from any coaches that you're looking back?
Yeah, I think
a lot of players do that, the young fellas.
Yeah, a lot of my junior coaches shaped the way that I wanted to play, and they were instrumental in trying to mentor me as a player. But when I nailed it down, I think it came back to my mum was the only one, and there are plenty of great things to take away, but there's a lot of shortfalls as well. And as an adult, as a husband, as a father, you sort of navigate through it and go man, I thought I knew it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got a very great, supportive and loving wife, and I think that helps too. But what I do bring to our relationship was that that tribal leader kind of thing. If someone's hurt, let's all go, and some of that as well has transferred into our community in Fitstop.
Yes. Yeah.
Fitstop. So for me, it's all about, what are people missing? What's the difference between Fitstop and a few other fitness gyms around? When it comes down to it, it's that connection and that community.
Yeah. Keeps people coming back.
Keeps people coming back as well. And people want to feel like they belong. People want to feel like they want to be connected. And so it's those elements that I take into the business, and there's the element that I take into, or I try and work on to bring into my family as well.
You would have seen, I guess, the fruits of that work over the past 18 months, as, you know, we go in and out of different lockdowns and things, and it's difficult, obviously, to train people face-to-face and open the gym and things like that. Did you switch to, you know, engaging with that community virtually? You know, what are some ways that you kind of stayed connected to that community?
Yeah, good question. I think
that was amazing what you guys did for lockdown.
The turnaround was under 24 hours when Auntie Anna gave us the announcement on Sunday. I was like, oh God, so deep. But from a franchise point of view, there was a few things we had to change. But from a community point of view, Jane and I like, okay, what do we do? What do we do well?
Yeah.
And we moved and we pivoted the business straight onto online, which was great. And I think it was just maintaining that connection. Like, I've got a face made for radio, so people wanted to see me more. So I was like, okay, cool. But it was that maintaining that connection.
Yeah.
And I think that was, it could have been just so many different exercises, but people wanted to maintain that connection, and we did our best with our team to try and maintain that connection in any which way we could, because we knew that thousands of people were going through different things, but what they could count on 45 minutes to change their day.
Yeah.
45 minutes to look at this guy who looks like The Rock tell me to do burpees in Iron Paradise.
Nice. Well, that's awesome. So obviously, yeah, hearing about kind of your background and your approach to this kind of the village and the community. Then thinking about as well, so shifting in parenting is something else we wanted to chat through. So you mentioned you've got an 11-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. So, you know, some kind of a bit of a range of ages there, which is really interesting. And obviously for Nick and I, our kids are still fairly young. So always like hearing perspectives of dads who've got, you know, kids approaching the kind of teenage years as well. So the first question was thinking about how do you parent school age kids? I guess, you know, what are the main shifts from younger ones to as they get older? Because obviously that's something that eventually we're going to have to go through.
You know what? I don't think there's a perfect answer to that. But in our experience, because Eva's 11. And she goes to high school next year. Wow. And it's like, I don't think I'm ready for this.
How fast did that happen?
In the blink of an eye,
Too
really.
fast?
But for us right now, I think it comes back to that connection.
Yeah.
For a number of years, I was always sort of trying to start the business up, and I was away from the family a lot, like early mornings, family's asleep, late nights. They're the peak hours of our industry. I was away. But trying to maintain that connection was really tricky. But like Jane did a lot of heavy lifting in our house and still does in terms of that maintaining that connection. But moving forward now, like high school versus, we got high school next year with Eva, and then we've got one going to prep next year, and then one still in daycare.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about this for quite some time, Jane and I, and I think the component here is having one unit, one understanding between Jane and I. Mm-hmm. Quite often, you know, she sets the agenda, and I'm all for it, and I'm all gung ho, getting it wrong all the time, forgetting notices and bags.
Yeah.
But I think for us, it's having that one solid plan. That, you know, you do this, I do that, we're going to work together.
Yeah, okay.
And it's quite tricky. And you know, I don't think we're quite there yet. But going back to that belief system, you know, how do you talk to how do you talk to a teenage going through the change?
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet.
Yeah. You're going to tackle that.
but having that understanding with Jane, supporting. You know, she pulls me into line, you know, you're probably too harsh.
Yeah.
You probably just need to sit and listen. And, you know, a father figure is not always about having the right answer.
Yes.
Or being the person that you think, that I think that she needs, but more so being the father figure that they would like to have around.
Yeah. But it sounds like you're a good team with your wife. Yeah.
Like I said, she sets the agenda. Let's go. And it's really tricky, and I think it's using your own emotions to sort of try and, understand the situation. All right, 11-year-old needs this. She just needs support, blah, blah, blah. Dad to be there. The 2-year-old just wants to play rumble and tumble.
Yes.
Give him that time. And then our 4-year-old, I tell you what, if someone said to me, you got to learn how to listen, how to take feedback from a 4-year-old, I would like, no way. She cuts me in half.
Oh, really? Harsh critic?
Harsh. But yeah, I think it's just working off that game plan together with mum.
Yeah.
And to try and work together as a team.
Yeah. And does
our household.
Eva, did you say?
Yep.
Does she kind of step up and help out with some of the younger kids too?
Yeah, she does. She's a really good kid, and she's navigating her own emotions and what she's going through as well, and trying to navigate. There's a 2-year-old telling me, and our 4-year-old runs the household for the kids. So yeah, I think she's in a good place, and we'll just wait and see.
Yeah.
I always joke that if she's going to bring a boyfriend home, tell me. I'll be out the front, shirt off, sitting there. Give me a couple of minutes to do some push-ups.
I didn't know your dad was the Rock. I don't think this is going to work out.
Yeah. She'll go, Dad, and I'll be, it doesn't matter.
Even sounds like the Rock.
And when we were speaking previously as well, you mentioned. So you working in the fitness industry, previously some of the hours have been a bit tough, but now, your business is kind of firing and you've got a bit more time to spend with the kids. Kind of what have you been enjoying with that side of it?
Yeah, as I said earlier, and I've been saying this for some time now, I'm actually parenting.
Yeah.
Like doing daycare drop-offs, school pickups, fumbling my way, making sandwiches, and making school lunches.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. I'm actually being a parent.
Yeah, cool.
Those early mornings, rushing off to the gym, getting all that organized. Now we're very lucky. We've got a team now in both locations, and we're lucky that they're rock stars, so they're doing their bit. But for me now, it's like stepping back and trying to take some of that heavy lifting off Jane, of all the beautiful mums out there who are listening or may not be listening. And for me, I am getting a lot of enjoyment, because for me it's that connection.
Yep.
Our little 2-year-old needs a dad.
Yeah.
Our little 4-year-old needs someone to boss around. But yeah, they're the main things that I'm enjoying. School pickups, school drop-offs. I'm trying to make lunches.
Yeah.
Forgetting things at home. Out the driveway, come back and I forgot something.
How many times a day do you do that?
All the time. On my way here, I had to ring my wife. Hey, have you seen my wallet? Oh, fuck, sorry. So yeah, just trying to be a normal
That's
parent.
great. Yeah. It's just the little things. You're
Little things.
enjoying them. Yeah.
Bath time.
Yep.
Forget about bedtime. Oh, that's another story for another time.
It's real time.
Yeah, it's real time. I can't even do that.
Bath time is definitely I think it's been well made known of on this podcast that bath time is just unbearable for myself. I just can't do it. I'll do anything. I'll just stay downstairs and wash the dishes. Just get it away from me.
Yeah, our household's not too bad. I'm okay with the bath and shower time and all that. But putting the kids to bed is like a mission.
Oh, really?
I guess there's a few factors for that. Like I wasn't there in the beginning, so now all they want is mum.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And all mum wants is some peace and quiet.
Yeah. Can't you put the kids to sleep? I'm trying, man. I'm trying. That's what we lay down here, and
She's like, nah, you're up.
Yeah. So being a parent, I guess, playing catch up.
Yeah.
Playing catch up
Nice.
is good fun, rewarding, but cuts deep. Cuts deep.
How did you? So sticking to the kids topic, do you? How do you instill a healthy lifestyle on your kids? So,
Yeah, it's a tricky one. Right now, we're just trying to team up together to ensure that we have time to do things together as a family. As I said, I'm doing a lot of drop-offs, and the kids are loving it. But then all of a sudden, they're like, "Oh, I want mum to pick me up." And so, as a team, Jan and I ensure that obviously we're getting what we're getting done for the business and also for the family, and it is quite tricky from that point of view as well.
I can see how, yeah, definitely. So moving on now with we're talking about just overall health now. So mental health and dad bod. We talk about dad bod weekly on this pod, but we'll start with the mental stuff not mental stuff, but mental health stuff. Because Are You OK Day was this week, and a lot of people say, "Oh, it's all right to say it one day a year," but you come across as the kind of guy who makes it one of their life missions to make sure people are okay and actually genuinely care about other people's mental health. What does Are You OK Day mean to you?
I think it's a great day to sort of have some awareness, but internally as well, we want to make sure that Are You OK Day is transformed into every day.
Yeah.
And I think in this environment right now, it's crucial that we reach out, ask those questions, and but not also asking those questions, but having the tools to go, okay, cool, I actually can't give you the answer, but I'm going to be here for you. If you need someone else support you, I think, recommend someone else, because quite often it's like saying hello. You always get that answer. Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? It's just ingrained in us to say hi and just say hi back without even listening
Yes.
to someone saying. So Are You OK Day? It should be every day, and it's hard because as fathers, it's like if someone goes, how are you? Sometimes fuck it. I'm 3 hours deep here. I've got nothing.
I'm wrist deep in shit.
You're right, though. The reflex sometimes is, how are you? Yeah, good. That's kind of instinct sometimes. But
I challenge you to,
yeah,
on a daily, if you walk into your workplace or even wherever you're going, as soon as you say, hey, how are you? It's almost answered with another question. So every now and then it's like, hey, how are you? I'm good. How are you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's almost just this reflex, which is not a bad thing, but are we really listening?
No. Yeah.
So then sometimes if someone asks me, I'll be like, if there's someone says, oh, how are you going? I'm going, I'm actually not good, or I'm actually good, or I'll joke around and I'll say, how are you? I'm as good as I look, thank you.
Give them one, that's good.
Give them something to stop and listen and go, oh, okay.
That's all right for some people to say though, like, I'm as good as I look. But for guys like, good as I look, oh, mate, you just came out of a hard day in the sun. You look like shit.
But then that shows that they're listened.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's not the fact that what you're saying, that's the content. It's about that they actually listen.
And that's what we're aiming for, eh?
Yeah. And to going back to Are You OK Day? It affects more it affects more and more people now. There's so many alarming stats out there, but I think if we do what we can from a community point of view, it can help. But yeah,
definitely. Now I know you advocate as well as attend these Grab Life by the Balls meeting. Can you just tell people what that's about? Because we gave it a shout out last week, but I don't think many people really know what it is, and it's only quite new, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fairly new. We came across a gentleman over at Rebel Sport. Beautiful man, name is Neil. Anyway,
Neil's a ledge.
Yeah, so he actually started it in North Lakes.
Oh wow!
And so the whole concept was, come have a burger every second Wednesday, and then if you feel like you want to share something, then you share something. Like, it wasn't about like come in like, okay, we're going to ask you 5 questions and you have to reveal your deepest, darkest secret, or you all got to stand up and hold hands and light a candle. It was far from that. It was all about coming and sharing. If you feel the urge to want to get something off your chest, then great. If not, just sit and listen. At the very least, have a burger.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what it was. And it continues to be like that, breaking down that stigma that if you want to share something, then share something. But there's also around the table, there's different experiences and different ages that everyone can share.
Now, if anyone actually wants to get involved in this, and I think it's really important that you at least give it a Facebook search and search for Grab Life by the Balls and see what they're about. And if you follow them, they come up with meetings all the time, and you get a notification when the next meeting is. So it's really good. Why do you actually think that sharing and listening is so important with the stigma?
If we take it back to my culture and my beliefs and how I grew up, the men were just the men of the village. They're the hunters and gatherers, cooked and very hands-on, but they never actually shared. Like for example, my father, he never actually shared how much he had emotions or how much he shared what was going on in his life. And I can't understand what he was going through, but he turned to the drink, and when he got to a certain point, he used his hands, and he was very violent to my mother and to us as kids as well. So I don't know. Part of me feels like if he actually spoke about what was going on in his life, maybe, yeah. But like culturally, it's like men just hang out with men and just don't really say anything. So for me now, as I said, there was a massive hole growing up. I took all the good things, and I value the culture that I had growing up, and I still do, and I still instill a lot of that culture into our children. Mm-hmm. But I also understand that I need to be a better father, better partner, and so sharing is one thing. And like having the balls to go, you know what? I need help.
I'm not good.
I'm not good. I need to be a better father.
Yeah.
I actually know, what do you do? I need to do that. I'll try that. I'll go home and try that.
I've learned actually heaps from this podcast, just listening to everyone. You guys, every guest we've had so far has had some just gem, like even if it's just one gem, it's just blokes talking to blokes, dads talking to dads, and everyone's going to learn something.
Yeah, the idea of sharing and listening, just as two simple things you can do, are quite obviously quite empowering. So the sharing, like you said, with this Grab Life by the Balls group, there's no pressure by the sounds of it. You can just go and ease into it, and just kind of sit there and listen, and then when you're ready, start sharing and get something out of that. That's quite great.
Yeah, and it's like I said before, at the very minimum, you're just having a burger. Yeah. Like I've invited a few people to come along, and they're like, I didn't realize it was like you just have a chat, and it's like lunchtime. There's chats about footy, there's chats about everything. There's chats about people going through tough times, and there's just normal chat about live chat. And then there's also networking as well, and people are connecting on all levels as well. But at the bare minimum, it's like, what burger will I have? Yeah. So I've let the cat out.
Fortnightly burger. Yeah. So what actually, moving on to Fitstop, what actually drew you to Fitstop itself? Because it didn't have that sort of community before you guys sort of got involved, did it? Or
I think the bones of it did. A couple of years ago, I was doing PT in the fitness industry in Newstead. Mm-hmm. And I got to a point where like I needed, or I wanted to do something next. I wanted to do something more, and what was next for me? Jane and I got to that point where we're going to build a family, and like, what does that look like? Someone has to be an adult, and that was Jane. And then I was the kid that like still wanted to do something. I'm still a kid today, and so professionally I was doing PT, but I wanted to impact more people. The one-on-one model was great, and I built great rapport, great business, but I could only have 40 people at a time. Yeah. One-on-one training, get to know them, get to know how to help them. And then the next thing was like I always wanted to open my own facility. So off I trot. I was looking at different models, looked at F45, looked at 12 rounds, looked at independent models as well, and what's going to be best for me. And I looked at, okay, what am I good at? I'm good at training, I'm good at people, I'm good at programming, finding out and moving people along to the next step or their next best thing for them. But I also, what I lacked was something of a business structure. I lacked certain things, business aspects of it. And so then Jane and I combined together. She's really great at business development. I'm great at people. And so we decided, okay, what's out in the market? Met a friend of ours, and she was like in love with Fitstop. At that time, there was only one Fitstop, and she raved on like, she could be herself. Not many places you go and train, and the owner's right next to you, and it's like very genuine. They actually know me by name, and I was like, okay, cool, this sounds great. Trained with Peter Hull at Morningside, and he spoke about his passion and his dream, and I thought, that could be something that I could take on board and take that journey and make it our own. And so we initiated that back in 2017, and at the time there was only 2 Fitstops. We opened Redcliffe and we're the 8th location. Sold on a dream, and it was like the whole brand has evolved, and I could tell you a lot of good stories about it. But what attracted me to it was it had the functionality of all the elements I loved about training. Yep. So it had barbells, it had compound lifts, it had a little bit of conditioning, but I had that team feel.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I could, hang my hat on. I could add value to it, and it was great. And then on the other side, Fitstop itself was part of a big community. So again, that connection.
Yeah.
And so we decided to go through it and open it all up, and one baby wasn't enough. We decided to open up another one just after COVID. Well, we committed to North Lakes before, and then COVID hit.
Yeah, no.
And so that was
rough. Yeah,
that was rough.
Yeah,
really rough. Still crying about it. And then opened up North Lakes. So in comparison, Redcliffe was the 8th location. North Lakes opened up as the 33rd.
Wow,
that was a quick turnaround.
Quick turnaround, high growth. It was one of the business grew rapidly as well, and so too the team and the dream.
Nice
as well.
Now, Mark, you mentioned before that the one of the great things about Fitstop is you could just go to training and the owner could be training right next to you. So you're so relatable to just every bloke, dad or not, but you're probably the most equipped person I know that could give a dad advice on how to take that first step to not losing the dad bod, but redefining the dad bod.
Thanks. I'll take that as a compliment. At essence, I'm just a big kid.
Big popper.
Big popper. I'm just a big kid. So I genuinely want to help people.
Yeah.
If I have the answers, then usually I'll love to share them. But if I don't have the answer, I'll just direct people in the right way to get to where they need to.
How could you? What advice could you give for someone to just act on that defining moment of motivation? Like, probably should join a gym. My mate goes to Fitstop. I'll go down and have a try. So what advice do you give to any bloke?
One is to find something that they love, and find a mate.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, blokes will always go somewhere together with a mate. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I think it's about time I should do something, team up with a buddy. Do it together. Because if it goes pear-shaped, you just blame him. But generally speaking, being in the fitness industry, guys are always hesitant to do anything.
Yeah.
But if they get their mate along, they go, I'll try it. Okay, let's do it. You're more likely to do it together.
You got that competitive edge as well, don't you?
Yeah. Females, on the other hand, they're very decisive. They know what they want. More impulsive sometimes, but they're very direct and more likely to join it by themselves. Guys, on the other hand, we drag our feet. Maybe, I don't know, walk past. Oh, yeah, it looks good. Oh, no, I don't want to go. There's too many girls. Oh, no. Fuck. Okay, we'll do it. So my top tip there, I'm talking now. My top tip there, if you're thinking, if you've got the urge, grab a buddy and just do it together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice. That's awesome. You've already given enough of a plug to Fitstop, but do you want to keep going?
Yeah, I guess Fitstop. If you're looking to get back into shape, or if you're looking for some connection, I generally ask people, what have you done before, and what are you looking for? Because at some point you're going to say, oh, I used to go to a 24-hour gym. That was good for a moment, but you probably got bored. Looking up at the screen 30 minutes later, playing on your phone. I better get out of here. Whereas Fitstop is going to give you that team environment, that community environment, and you're more likely to lift a little bit heavier because old mate next to you came with competitive.
Yeah.
And you're more likely to run faster because there's a female running. Like you don't want. Oh, I don't want her to beat me. That's what happens to Nick.
No, I only run because Paulie makes me run.
Yeah, but what we do, I guess, the biggest piece that we can bring together is that community and make you connected.
Yeah,
make you feel special.
I love that. Now, I'm going to draw off my own experience here. I think guys with kids are less likely to join a gym for a long term. How can blokes better themselves with having kids? Like, I personally was only going to join Fitstop for 6 weeks initially, and 6 months later, you just go because you make mates and you want to stay there and live with your mates. But if you don't pick sort of a gym like that, how can blokes better themselves with kids without using it as sort of their roadblock?
Good question. What I would say to that, they need to buddy up with someone, work together with their own little units. Like most dads do, try and tag team a little bit. Mm-hmm. Mum has the kids. Okay, dad goes and trains maybe with the boys. If gym's an option, then great. If not, find a social outing of any type of team sport. TRL, touch footy. Get something in. You come back and then change the roles over. Take the kids and let mum do something. Let mum, sit in the corner, drink wine or something. But understand. I guess it's just understanding what's going to be most beneficial for your little unit.
I like that. Nice. I agree.
We're at that stage at the moment.
Yeah.
Tag teaming is
I'm actually just taking notes.
Yeah, because you've both got that motivation, but it's easy to have excuses and be like, I'll look after the kids. Do you want to as well? No, go and take that time for yourself. I think it's important to do that.
Yeah,
and it's hard, but I guess if we share and communicate, it starts with that unit at home with mum. Sometimes that's the toughest part. They're the toughest conversations to have at home.
Yeah, definitely. Now, to wrap it up there, if you just got a hypothetical for you, just because we don't mind a hypothetical here.
Go on.
Do you know Tongan Thor from the Queensland Reds? Plays rugby for the Queensland Reds.
I know of him.
Of him, you've seen a picture of.
Yes.
All right. So if you could be the beast himself, to Tongan Thor, that plays for the Queensland Reds, or
Wallabies as well,
and the Wallabies too. Fair play, yeah. Or Jason Aquaman Momoa. Who are you taking? So, yeah.
So, carry on.
No, I was just going to say, so one's completely ripped, drowning in women, and the other one is just a friggin' monster who is probably the best form of himself and at the peak of his game.
If I had to pick which one I wanted to be?
Yeah.
Good question. I'd probably just go Aquaman.
Aquaman. You're doing the missus a favour there, aren't you?
He's my cousin.
Okay, nice. Now, remembering here that we are powered by Smashing Fibers Apparel. Check them out online and on Instagram. And when you purchase anything, use Ship Shit Free at the checkout for free shipping.
All right. Should we get into the How Dad Are You quiz?
Oh, this is almost as good as Shit Dad moment of the week for me. I love it now. So good.
It's good. We've got a few, points on the board now from our different dads.
Definitely.
So, reminder, it's 1 point for every yes and a score out of 10.
Yep. Righto. So, number one, do you hate lights being left on?
No.
You don't hate lights being left on. Cool. Okay. Would you rather wash dishes than bathe your kids?
Do the bathing.
See, I think that just relates to me. I probably should have put a better question in. Yeah. Do you mute the TV during an ad break?
No.
Okay. I'm not going good here. No. Does your kitchen have to be spotless before you start cooking?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Okay, we're on the way. Do you switch the GPS off till you get to the sub wherever you're going to because your head's like a map?
No.
You could do it better. Or you know the main roads. Do you back into every car park? Or most?
Most, yeah.
Cool. We'll give you that one. That's good. Yeah, nice. What's he on?
3.
Oh, jeez. Righto. We're going to come home strong here. Do you only ever rinse your favourite coffee mug so you don't lose all the flavour? Or because it's too much effort?
No.
Oh, man. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. Now, when you're distributing food to your kids,
Yep.
you've got a broad range of kids there, ages, so some may be pickier than others. Do you still do the dad tax? Like, do you take a little bit of their food and be like, no, that's good, that's yours?
No.
No? Even to a bonus point here, to redeem yourself, like, do you pick a bit of food and say, I'm just checking if it's poisonous?
Yes.
Yep, cool. We'll give you that. And now when you're driving anywhere and you're looking for an address, right when you get up really close and you're looking for the number, do you turn the radio down?
Yes.
Yeah, good. And just a gimme here, just to bump your numbers up, do you admire your lawn after mowing it?
Absolutely.
Oh, thank God. He
7.
redeemed himself. 7. Outstanding. You had me going there for a second. I was really worried.
I was that guy, was I?
We've had worse.
Just slow to start. All right, this week we want to chat tight-ass tidbits. And I've got a bit of an evolution from what I've spoken about before. So previously I've mentioned the old beach trolley. I'm too cheap to pay for a decent one that actually moves on sand. And I went away on the weekend to the beach up the sunny coast. And in this instance, I was dragging the kids in it and all the beach gear in the sand. Struggling, but I'm not buying a new one. And needless to say, I was just kind of looking away. I wasn't really watching them. And then all of a sudden, Jess is yelling at me, and they just tipped over. All the beach gear landed on the kids, and they both face planted it into the sand. So
it's a sand. It's a soft landing.
Outstanding.
Exactly. They I think my son's scared of getting in it again, but I'm still not getting a new one.
That could morph into your shit dad moment too.
Yeah, true.
That's awesome. I don't have any tight ass tidbits this week. But.
Good. Anything that you live by in your life, Mark? From cutting corners or saving money, or
obviously doesn't care about lights being left on.
Nothing that comes to mind. Nothing that comes to mind at the moment, but pretty sure as I drive off, I'll be, oh man, I do this one.
Every dad's got some. Yeah.
Make sure when you have that thought, you turn the radio down as well. Now, Cam, I wanted to throw this in here, just a little bit of a surprise to you. I've got one to add this week. It's called Good Cop, Dad Cop.
Nice.
Ooh.
Right? How do you push your point home? / do you have any stories about discipline? All right? As I've said on this podcast before, I've got my dad voice. So you've got the clenched teeth, the veins popping out of the neck, and you're really low volume, so it hits home a bit harder. It's like, and if they hear that, boom, it doesn't get any faster. It's awesome. Now, do you guys how do you push your point home? Good cop, dad cop.
I've been doing one lately where I give a bit of a warning. So before I do the dad voice, I sit down, get on their level. Well, it's mostly to my 3-year-old. If you don't do this, Daddy will get very angry. I give her a little bit of warning. Okay, you sure you're not going to do it? Okay, and then I get angry.
So you're really patient. Fair play.
I try. Usually I alternate with my wife. One of us is does the good cop, one does the bad cop. It seems to constantly alternate.
Dad cop. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, that's a good one. I quite often hit indefinitely doing the countdown.
Oh, yeah.
2 minutes. Come on, mate, 2 minutes. And then the voice gets like 2 minutes. And then I do. Lately, I've been doing make a good choice.
Oh, yeah, go try that.
Make a good choice. Yeah. And if it
Green
all
choices
fails,
and all that.
yeah. I'm all about that countdown. So for me at the moment, it's the countdown, and then it's giving the make the good choice, and then if all fails, it's just a big clap just to get their attention, and then it's like a little bit of.
Oh yeah, he does the clenched teeth. He does it too. I love that.
I joke around. I think the neighborhood want to get in the car in the morning sometimes when I'm doing drop off. Get in the car.
Now, you say you start at 2 minutes. When you get really tight, where do you go?
Now.
Yeah? So go 2 minutes to now, then not even a 10-second countdown.
No, usually it's like 2 minutes and another 2 minutes, and then try and drag it out. Come on. Try and do the voice.
2.5.
Okay. Try and do the explain to them why, And if all fails, this is like caveman. I just picked them up in the car.
By the hair. Now listen, Cam, with last week I mentioned that dinner time was a bit of a nightmare. You're spending heaps of time on daddy dinners and they don't eat anything. It's more for your missus and yourself. But Dad Cop's been coming out at dinner time lately and it's been getting a real good run. And I've got to the point where I'm sick of making food for them that they don't eat or have 2 spoonfuls and it goes in the bin. I look in the bin and there's more than what I've just had for dinner in the bin. And I'm like, no. Guess what? Now I'm taking the bowls off them when they're walking away, covering them, putting them in the fridge and heating it up for breakfast.
Oh.
Dad Cop.
And does that work? Do they eat?
Fuck no. But the threat's there.
I like that one. We quite often. It depends, but if they don't eat it, well, that's it.
Yeah,
that's
right.
it.
You go hungry.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in the morning, we quite often will then use that food again for the next dinner.
Yeah, nice. Yep.
If it lasts.
Leftovers.
Yeah, you're going to eat it at some point.
Even if it doesn't.
All right, getting into dad jokes. So I'm going to just read one first. We've got a listener mail. These jokes were sent in by Paul from North Lakes, a local here. So thanks for sending that through, Paul.
Friend of the show. And he says these are originals that he has created. So well done, mate, for having a crack and sending through your own. First one. What do you get when you cross a chicken with the Pope? Eggs Benedict. Oh, that was good. Oh, sorry. Yes.
And number 2, why was the pepper frightened?
Oh, dear. Because he was on something about assault?
It was threatened with assault.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
That's a good one. Wow.
Nice, Paulie. Listen, Cam, no offence. I know we go back a fair way. But I think my recliner's my best friend now because we go way back.
Yeah.
That it?
Yep.
Mark, what do you got?
I've got one.
Yes.
And it's one that, funnily enough, our 2-year-old little Solomon is always saying he loves it. He loves it. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Corbin.
Corbin who?
Corbin anybody.
Hey.
We're paying that. Yeah, that's good.
Nice. Remember, keep sending through your original creations because we want to hear those ones. All right, and we've got another listener mail as well this week. So this was going to sit in our dad hack section. So this one's from Scott, who has also emailed in before in the past.
Another friend of the show.
He is, and he has sent through a couple of pictures as well, which I'll pull up. But some people have shared with us on Instagram. You can buy these little onesies for your kids when they're at the age where they're crawling around the house. There's basically got a mop attached to the bottom, and he was gifted one of these.
This picture is gold.
Yeah, for his crawling little baby, and he sends the pics in, and he said it worked a treat, which is quite cool. Let me pull it up.
Outstanding. What's it called?
Mop baby.
Here we go. It looks cute too.
Baby broom. Yeah,
That
it's
is-
pretty cute.
That is.
Is that Delilah? Dad of Days with Delilah?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's classic.
Look at that.
On your Scotty.
So good.
So good to
Well
know. And he said he just wants, to kind of keep her crawling as long as possible so she can keep mopping the floor.
Now, Scotty's actually sent another. Well, he didn't send this one in, but I follow Scott, and I saw this on his Insta, and I asked if we could use it for the show, and he kindly agreed. But he's started his kid early on the pool table, so he's used your little what are they called, the ergo?
Yes.
Yeah. So he got the little fella in the ergo, but facing away from him, and he's playing pool, and the kid has his arms on the pool cue, and I'm like.
That's great.
Yeah. So I'll put that up on the socials, but I definitely want to know, anyone listening, send us in your moments where you have got them started early. Got to get them going. Now, I've got a dad hack as well, Cam. As a father of a 2-year-old girl, I constantly find myself in a battle to do hair. And
Are you good at it?
no, fuck no. And also finding hair ties.
Yep.
Okay, so I've never able to find a hair tie when required, and when she finally actually finds something on TV that she'll watch and sit still while I do her hair, or at least put it into a ponytail because that's all I know how to do. I found out that using a peg works real good.
Oh.
Not all day, but if you just need to sort of get the hair out of their eyes for a little while, peg.
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 You're not sending them to daycare with a peg?
No,
Yeah.
no. That'd be a shit dad story.
That's a good one.
Yeah, pegs.
I've seen the old vacuum cleaner.
Yes.
Oh.
Back of the hair, and then put the hair tie on that to throw it
And
on.
then you throw it up.
Yeah.
That is good.
I'm trying that. Definitely got to try that.
Any dad hacks that come to mind, Mark?
No, not at the moment. Dad hacks.
We'll follow up.
Yeah.
I'll call you on the way home.
Yeah.
When all your good ideas come to you.
Yeah. It'll be flowing.
Yeah. Shit dad moment of the week. Ooh. Now, this is a time of the week that we just sit back and realise we don't actually think we're shit dads, but these are the moments where we look back and go, that was pretty shit. Yeah. You've done something there that isn't very mum approved, and let's share it with the boys.
Love it.
And
or the listeners. Yeah.
And hopefully learn from our mistakes.
Yeah, we'll learn from mistakes, obviously. So, after saying no to my 4-year-old at the shop for the dozenth time 2 days ago, he told me I was a stinky old man and he wanted to take me to the bad guy shop. I asked him what the bad guy shop was. I was like, what's the bad guy shop? And he goes, just go to the bad guy shop. You get out of the house and you go to the bad guy shop. I was like, you talking about jail? And he goes, yeah, jail. And I was like, if you send me to the bad guy shop, you're only just going to get another bad guy come and be your daddy. And he goes, oh, okay. And then I was like, you still want me to go to the bad guy shop? And he goes, yeah, I want you, just go to the bad guy shop. I didn't really know how to respond to that the second time round, so I just handed him the keys to the car and I was like, you drive then, see ya. Sat in the back seat.
Come on, mate.
Take me to this bad guy shop.
Bad guy shop.
My moment this week is actually a bad one. So I've been feeling very guilty about it all week.
Sorry, Cam, is this worse than dropping your kids out of the beach carrier?
This is worse.
Oh, yes.
Happened on the same holiday.
I cannot
day
wait
after.
for this.
We're staying in a little cabin at a caravan park, and it was had a couch there, and it was all tiled. Unfortunately, had my back to him. He fell off the couch onto the tiles, and it was a big thud. It was a loud thud. He had the biggest egg that he's ever had on his head, and
he's a good egg, that kid.
he is a good egg, correct. But he was a bit funny for the next kind of couple of hours, so we took him to the doctor, and it turns out he had bruised ribs as well. So we can't really pick him up. We have to use his bum and under his arm. And luckily, we've also got an uncle who's a paramedic, so we gave him a call and had a chat through it as well. So he's fine now, but it was, I feel very guilty all week. It was the first serious injury that he's had. So definitely learning from that one.
Yeah. Hot damn.
Hey, no judgment.
No judgment. No. Just learning. Learning points. Don't drop your kid on the tiles.
Well, my moment I'll share.
Awesome.
Happened a couple of days ago. We the family had something to go to, and I was like, yeah, good. Had the game plan with Jane. Okay, you do this, you do that. I got this. I've got this.
You love a good plan, eh?
I got it. You do that. Yeah, got it. Part of the team. I'm on board here. I'm going to get it. Everything's done. Boom, boom. Out the door we go. We're on time. Driving out. All good. And then we get to our where we need to go to. Out in the shops and all that. And we're shopping. We're looking for a dress up for we've got a function this
the
weekend.
El Fiesta.
Fiesta, Mexican theme happening down this week at Thirsty Chiefs. So we're in the shop, and then
Shout out.
and then all of a sudden, I get this Mark. Look over, the eyes light up, and I look over to Jan. She starts pointing at Solomon, and I'm like, what? And I could, oh my god, he's chopped a big heavy one here.
Oh dang.
Yep. Earlier on that day, I said, we'll continue on with the toilet training. I think it's in his best development that we do this.
You didn't take a backup nappy?
And then Jane's like, you got to go. And I said, okay. So I pick him up, and I'm leading him out in front. I'm like, I felt like Moses parted the sea. As I lift him walking through, people just pass. It was amazing. There's another hack. If you're ever in the morning, you need to go hold your dirty nappy up for your child, and it'll just part.
Big brown lamp just dripping.
So then we get to the car, right? And I'm trying to hold him so like I'm not squashing it. Because otherwise, if you hold, baby.
Oh, the poo, not the kid. Oh,
sure. Same. So I get to the car. Open the boot up, put him down, go and grab the nappies. No nappies. So then, okay, cool. Where's the wipes? Look, no wipes.
Oh no!
No wipes, no nappies. And they go, I got this. So I quickly grab him.
Plan C.
Quickly grab him, shut the boot, run out over to the shops, and I go into the cafe and go, mate, do you have a toilet here? And he looks at me and goes, you got no mask, you can't come in.
Oh. Thanks again, Auntie Anna.
So I run to the car, grab the mask, come back in, and they go, can I use your toilet? And he goes, only for patrons only. So then I'll go back to the car, and then it's like, okay, what do I do here? And Jane comes out and goes, what have you done? Yeah.
Fire hose.
Yeah, no nappy. No wipes. No good. And she goes, I thought you said you had it. And then I tried, okay, plan B, let's just throw him in. Let's just throw him in the car seat. Let's go. And she goes, you're not putting him in the car seat with no nappy and the dirty bum. So then, luckily there was some smaller wipes that would be tucked in the car. So we just used that, cleaned them out. So then I put him back in his shorts. So he's sitting in there, and had to wind down the window. Jane's like, so you got this. You told me you got this.
I don't think we've ever had a shit dad story on this pod yet with so many exhales in pity,
So yeah, that was our day out.
That's tough, because I can imagine as well getting flustered and
on all levels.
Yeah,
on all levels. And to finish it off, we drive from the shop to another mall, and then I park the car, and Jane's like, you almost crashed into that car. And I said, I don't care, I'm out. I pick Solomon up, we run straight to the toilet, try and get some toilet, go to the store, try and get some wipes, try and get some new undies and nappies. Yeah.
What a hectic dilemma.
I know.
Oh.
And that's one of those situations where the wife goes, oh yeah, told you so.
Yeah, I love a good told you so moment.
Gosh,
that's one of them.
I can't live it down.
Oh,
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
Thanks, that's a good one. Gee whiz. That hurt to listen to.
It hurt to go through it.
To relive that.
exactly.
Is that coming up at the next Grab Life While the Balls meeting? Is like
probably,
that was your week.
Yeah.
After you've eaten.
Yeah, after burgers.
After the burger.
Nice. So we've got the listener mail from Paul from North Lakes. You want me to read it out, or you got it in front?
No, you go for it, mate.
Right. I just frantically looked it up on my phone. I got this. Paulie from North Lakes. What a ledge. Friend of the show. G'day, Nick and Cam. First of all, congrats on the pod, boys. You are doing some great stuff. Entertaining as all good pods need to be, but some good little serious nuggets, pun intended for Mark there, in there for dads that might be feeling a bit shit about things. I listened to Paradad and Distant Dads episode, which were both great. What top blokes Rick and Ben are. Great outlooks on life and self. Awesome yarns. And then he goes on to say something about his dad jokes there, which I'm not going to say them again because they were just that good that you have to go back and listen to them in the episode.
Nice.
So keep up the great work, lads. Paul from North Lakes. Cheers, Paulie. Stop making me run after Fitstop sessions.
Thank you. We also had a message from Simon, so thanks for sending that through, mate. And he actually had a question for us around some ads that have been following him around on Instagram and asking us what we think the best way to carry kids is. So obviously I've mentioned in the past I'm a fan of the Ergo or the Baby Born, one of the ones you can throw the kids on the front. But he's getting served the ads where, I don't know if anyone else has seen them, it's a carrier that you put on your shoulders and then the kid sits on top and you don't have to hold them. It looks like a very strange contraption. And my response initially was, obviously I'm an Ergo fanboy, but also you can put your kids on your shoulders and they just generally stay. And that's free as well.
It's kind of a tight-ass tidbit, isn't it?
That was my opinion.
Or shopping trolley.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, once they're big enough to sit for themselves, they can kind of opens up a few more avenues than the lie down in the trolley, you know, or the pram. You can shoulders. I said to Simon as well. My little way of carrying the kids, although not arms free, was like a puppy, where they're lying on their belly across your arm like that. And the head's in your hand, and the legs at either side of your arm.
That's a good one.
Oh,
yeah. That's a good dad pose.
It's a good dad pose because it's very masculine.
Yeah.
Without sounding too misogynistic, it's very manly and masculine, and you feel like the big dog, big popper.
But if any listeners have used those shoulder carriers, let us know if they're any good. One of the brands is called Mini Me. Can't say I will try that one though.
You could just put them in a normal backpack.
That was actually my second response to Simon. Bit of bad advice, yeah. Chuck them in your backpack.
Put them in the backpack.
Oh, I love that. Now, you got any more listener mail, Camo?
Not for this week.
Right. So, Mark, it has been an absolute honour having you on, mate. It's been super. We've had some great advice, some great mental health, dad bod, community, lifestyle. Everything you've spoken about has just been so relatable, and we really appreciate you coming on tonight, especially at such short notice. So thank you very much for that.
Pleasure's all mine, and I look forward to listening to you guys. And I'll have to get my game up in terms of the hacks, and I'm sure it'll come flowing after this. Again, likewise, it's been a pleasure coming on tonight's show, and I look forward to seeing the growth and the connection grow with you guys moving forward.
Awesome. Do you have any last word to any blokes out there or dads out there that you could impart any more knowledge on?
If you're a father, you're doing what you can. As you know, I guess my top tippers at the moment: listen to mum, listen to the kids, try and be present, and listen to your mates if they need help. Listen to the inner voice of yours if you want to get out and do something and be active. Mm-hmm. And I guess listen to you guys.
Love that.
Great advice. Thank you.
Now, we love hearing stories from our listeners, so to get involved, email us at shitdadpod@gmail.com or slide into our DMs on Instagram at shitdadpod, or send us a voice clip, something a bit different for us to play back on the pod. But most importantly, click follow wherever you listen to your podcast so we can build up our Jason Momoa status. So, Cam, do you have any other little nuggets or tidbits?
The only last thing I'd say is probably just our prize winner for the week.
Oh, that's a good shout. Thanks for that.
No, just make sure we get one in. So I'll probably get that to Paul, I think.
Yeah,
with
good shout.
Some good feedback for us, but also some average jokes.
Yeah, which is what we're all about. So well done, Paulie. You got a gift voucher coming your way, mate.
Nice.
Thank you very much. And until next time, crack a beer, get your kid to drive you to the bad guy shop. Yeah, for the kids.